channel. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to our Facebook page. If you haven't liked our page, we encourage you to like our page, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sorry for coming late. I said 21 hours sharp due to network. I've been struggling from 20:45 so when I started trying to set things up. The network has been just bad. That's the reason I have come late. Otherwise, those who have been able to wait for us, thank you so much for bearing with us and waiting for us to come live. Okay, like I said earlier on, or like I posted earlier on, I said that we're going to look at multiplication of matrices by a scalar, as well as multiplication of matrices by matrices. Okay, matrix by matrix, matrix by scalar, and also we're going to look at a few questions that came in 2024 examinations. So those are the only that is the only paper I'll get questions from. So please make sure you subscribe and like our Facebook page so that you don't miss our videos. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to look at multiplying matrices. So let's start with the multiplying matrices by a scalar. Okay, so we are going to start with multiplying matrices or multiplying matrix by a scalar. Okay, all right, so I'm not going to go in details talking about what a scalar is. That is not the purpose of our revision. Our revision is trying to give you insights or focus on segments that comes in an exam. So those that we feel they don't come in an exam, we're not going to be talking about that. So one of it is definition of a scalar, and that one no. Okay, so let's start with multiplying a matrix by a scalar. So what happens is the question will come from this topic. Mostly the question will come, maybe let's say it will be 2 2, then open bracket 1 4 0 3, then close bracket like that. Now in this case, 2 here, this 2 is a scalar and that is a matrix. Okay, so when you ask to multiply a matrix like that, what we need to do is you open bracket, then you start multiplying every element in the matrix by 2, which is a scalar. So when we open a small bracket in the matrix, we are going to write 2 times. So we start 2 times, so we pick this one here, 2 times 1. So we write 2 times 1, cross bracket. Next, we multiply. So first we open a smaller bracket, then we multiply 2 by. So again here, we pick this here. Okay, so we say 2 by 0 and close bracket. Okay, then we come down, we multiply 2. Since we have come here, that means we're going to multiply with a number that occupies this position, so which is 2 times 4. We close bracket and open another bracket, and then we multiply by this number 3, so it becomes 2 by 3 like that, and then we close the entire matrix. Okay, now once we have done that, what we can do is we can say equal to, open another matrix, and then we find the product of those expressions in the matrix. So let's start with 2 by 1. What will be the answer? 2 by 1 will give us 2. Then we come to 2 by 0. 2 by 0 will give us 0. Then we come to 2 by 4. 2 by 4 will give us 8. Then we come to this one, which is 2 by 3. 2 by 3 will give us 6. Now like this, we have multiplied the matrix by a scalar successfully. So that's how you multiply a matrix by a scalar. Okay, sometimes the question will be like this. Okay, they say B is equal to, let me just put this a bit on top so that I can have space down to write. So we say B is equal to, open bracket, then they say 5, 15, then we have 20, then we have negative 35. Okay, then close bracket, that's a matrix. Then they say, in the question they ask you to find 1 over 5b. Okay, find 1 over 5b. Okay, so to solve this one, what we're going to do is, what we do is, we start first by writing that expression, which is 1 over 5b. Okay, so what we do now, where there is b, we replace b with the matrix. So that what we're going to do is open bracket, then we say 5, sorry, not open bracket. Where am I lashing to? Please, so bear with me. I don't know where I'm lashing to. We say 1 over 5, then open bracket, then we have 5, 20, then 15, then negative 35. Now here what we have done, we have replaced the letter b by its matrix it is representing. So b is the name of matrix. So instead of writing the name where there is b, we have written the actual matrix. Okay, now like that, then we say equal to. Please, if you think I'm very fast, you can ask me to slow down in the comment section. I'll be reading out the comment sections, and if you are confused anywhere, you can ask me. Okay, now once we have done this, the next thing we need to do is we open bracket. Then what do? We open a smaller bracket like we did earlier on. Then what we do is we multiply 1 over 5 by 5. What happens when you are multiplying a matrix by a scalar? What you do is you multiply every element of that matrix by a scalar given. So in this case, the scalar given is 1 over 5. So we're going to multiply every element in matrix B by 1 over 5. So it's a 1 over 5 times 5. Okay, then again we open bracket, then we multiply 1 over 5 by this number, which is 15. So it's 1 over 5 times 15. Okay, close bracket. Then we come down, we say, we open bracket, then we say 1 over 5 times, okay, 1 over 5 times, then the number that is occupying this position is 20. So we say 1 over 5 times 20. Then we close bracket and then open another one. And then we also say 1 over 5 times, bracket, sorry, we open bracket and say negative 35. Then close bracket like that. Then we close the entire matrix like that. Okay, now once we do that, the next thing we need to do is we need to evaluate whatever is in the bracket. So we start with what is in here. Okay, so we can see that this 5 down and this 5 on top will cancel each other out, meaning giving us 1 here and 1 there. Okay, then we say this one down into this one on top, it will go 1 time, then 1 times this one will give us 1. So what we do is now we open bracket, then we say here we're going to have 1. Okay, the same thing happens at this position. We focus on here. So 5 into 5, it's 1. 5 into 15, that is 3. Then we say 5 into 1, it will be 1 times 3 will give us 3. So our answer here will be 3. Okay, that is the second element we have found. Then we come here, we also say 5 into 5, it's 1. 5 into 20, that's 4. Then we say 1 into 1, it will go 1 time. Then 1 times 4 will give us 4. So what we do is we write 4 here. Then we come here. Okay, we say 5 into 5, it's 1. 5 into negative 37, sorry, 5 into negative 35, it will go 7 times, which is going to be negative 7. So 1 into 1, it will go 1 time. 1 times negative 7 will give us negative 7. Okay, like that. Now that way we have multiplied a matrix by a scalar successfully. Okay, so basically that's how you multiply this. Now I have given you the first example was simple, there was no fraction involved. The second example is a bit difficult because there is a fraction that is involved, but if you follow the steps I've shown, that means you can get the correct answer, just like I have gotten the correct answer. So this is the final matrix we have gotten after multiplying a matrix by a scalar. Okay, now if there are no questions, let me give you a simple task. Let me give you 2 tasks. So the first one is this one, number 1. Then we say 2, not 2, let me use another number. Let's say 10, open bracket, 3, 4, 2, 1, like that. Okay, now the question is multiply that matrix by a scalar. The second question, which is question 2, which is t is equal to, open bracket, t is equal to, open bracket, so we have 2, 3, 1. Okay, then the actual question is find uh, 1 over 4 t. Okay, so let me just deal with the numbers I've put inside here. So let's start. So the first one is 16, then 20, then 12. Okay, so I want you to find the answer for set t. So I'm giving you 3 minutes to find the answers. Write your answers in the comment section, please. I want to see your answers. Please write them in the comment section. Oh God in heaven, show me this. Okay, so now I hope you have given your answers. So how do you go about this one? Okay, so how do you go about this one? So what you need to do is just the same as I told you earlier on. You open the bigger matrix, then you open the smaller brackets. So what you do, you multiply 10 by this number here, which is 3. Then we say 10 by 3, sorry. Okay, so we say 10 by 3, close bracket. Again, you open a smaller matrix. You open a smaller bracket inside. Then you multiply 10 by these two here. Then you say times 2, a close bracket. Then again you multiply, you open bracket down here, then you multiply 10 by, again you pick this number for here and then you put it there, then you do like this. Sorry, okay, so you put 4 there and then close, then open bracket. Again you say 10 times this number here, which is 1. So we say 10 times 1, like that, then close bracket like that. Then we say equal to, then we open the bracket for the matrix. Then you multiply this one first. 10 by 3 will give us 30. Then we come here, we multiply this one, which is 10 by 2 will give us 20. Okay, then we come here, we say 10 by 4 will give us 40. Then we come here, we say 10 by 1 will give us 10. Now there we close the matrix, and this is the final matrix of gotten after multiplying matrix T by a scalar. Okay, we come to question 2, which is T is equal to 16, 20, 12. Find 1 over 4 T. So first what we need to do is we're going to rewrite the same statement which is here. So we're going to say 1 over 4 T is equal to, so we say 1 over 4, the value of T, that is this matrix. So we say open bracket of a matrix, then we say 16, 20, 12. Okay, then we close bracket like that. Then we say equal to, so what do? We multiply every member of this matrix T by 1 over 4. So what we do is we are going to open another bracket inside. Then we say 1 over 4 times 16, close bracket. Again, we open bracket. We say 1 over 4 times 20. Then we close bracket. Then we open bracket. We say 1 over 4 times 12. Okay, then we close bracket and then close the bigger matrix like that. Then we say equal to, or because of space we are going to put our equal to down here. Okay, so what do we do now? We evaluate what is inside the brackets. So we evaluate what is inside the brackets. So the inner brackets, that's the one we start with evaluating first. So we focus on this one first. So what do? We open bracket for the bigger matrix, for the final matrix. Then we say 4 into 4, it will be 1. 4 into 16, it will go 4 times. Okay, then we say 1 into this one into this one, it will give us 1. 1 times 4 will give us 4. So here the answer will be 4. Sorry, here the answer will be 4. Okay, so we write 4 like that. Then we come here again, we evaluate. So we say 4 into 4, it's 1. 4 into 20, that is 5. Okay, then we say 1 into 1, it will give us 1. Then 1 times this 5 will give us 5. So the answer will be there. The next number will be 5. Okay, then we come here. What do we do? We say 4 into 4, 1. So 4 into 12, it will be 3. Then 1 into 1 will give us 1. 1 times 3 will give us 3. So we're going to write 3 here, like that and that. And this is the final matrix. Okay, so basically that's how you go about it when you are multiplying a matrix by a scalar. Okay, we go to, now I've talked about the scalars and I've given you a work to do and I've shown you how you are supposed to find the answer. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to look at multiplying a matrix by a matrix. Okay, so let's look at multiplying a matrix by a matrix. So when you are multiplying a matrix by a matrix, how do you go about it? Okay, there is a rule that I want to share with you that we usually follow when multiplying a matrix by a matrix. Okay, so that rule is 2 matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the numbers of rows in the second matrix. Okay, so 2 matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's look at this. If yesterday you didn't watch the video where we talked about order of a matrix, please feel free to check on our page or on our YouTube channel. You'll find a video where we talked about order of matrices. So we explained how you find the order of matrix. But I also talk about it. I'll refresh your minds in case you have forgotten in this video. So let's say you have got these 2 matrices and you want to know whether they can be multiplied or not. Okay, then we have also this one and this number. Okay, now my question is, can these two matrices be multiplied? Okay, so the condition is two matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Okay, so let's find the order of these two matrices before we comment. Okay, so let's say to find the order of matrix, we use the formula which is R by C, which is rows by column. Okay, so we say how many rows does this matrix has? It has got 1. By how many columns? It has got 2. Okay, so if you don't know how to identify rows, this one is rows. Then these are columns. So that's why we have got 1 by 2. Okay, that is the order of matrix. Now let's look at this one as well. So we know that to write the order of matrix, we write R C, R by C, which is row by column. Okay, then what do we say? We say how many rows does this matrix has? This matrix has got 1 row, so we are going to say 1 by, then how many columns? We can see that it has also 2 columns, so 1 by 2. So we can say this is the order of these two matrices is 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Okay, now here we have gotten the order of matrices. That means these they can be multiplied because they have the same order, isn't it? What do you think, viewers? Do you think these two matrices can be multiplied, or do you think they cannot? If you think they cannot, what is your reason of saying these two matrices can be multiplied? Cannot be multiplied. What are the reasons you're saying they can't be multiplied? If you feel they can be multiplied, what are the reasons why you feel they can be multiplied? Okay, now let's look at the golden rule we have above there, which is saying two matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Now let's look at this. Here we have got the number 2. The number of columns in the first matrix, there are 2. How many rows in the second matrix? There are 1. So are these number 2 and 1 equal? Are these equal? 2 and 1, are they equal? The answer is no, they are not equal. So since they are not equal, that means these two matrices cannot be multiplied. So these two matrices cannot be multiplied. Okay. Let me give you another set of matrices. So what if we have got these two matrices where we have 2, 6, okay, then we have this one 3, 5. Okay, try to identify the order of these matrices and then try to see if they can be added. If they can't, tell us. If they can, let us know. Okay, try to figure out whether these they can be multiplied. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Okay, so what did you deduce? Can these be can these matrices be multiplied? Okay, let's find out. Okay, so like we said earlier on, when you are writing the order of matrix, we start by rows, by columns. So we start with the rows, then by columns. So how many rows does this matrix has? It has got one. It has got one row by how many columns? So we can see that there are two columns. So we can say the order of this matrix is 1 by 2. Then we come to this second matrix. So we say how many rows? It has 1, 2. So that means we can write RC, which is row by column. Then we said there are two columns. So there are two rows. Sorry, there are two rows. So we write 2 by. Then we count the columns. So the columns, it's only 1. So we say that is 1. Okay, like that. Okay, so now that is the order of those two matrices. Then the question is, can these be multiplied? Okay, so the instructions are on top there. Two matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows, not numbers, but the number of rows are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So for two matrices to be multiplied, they should have the first matrix number of columns should match the number of rows in the second matrix. So now let's circle the columns in the number of columns in the first matrix. We have 2. Then the number of rows in the second matrix, we have also 2. Now, if these two numbers are equal, that means the two matrices can be multiplied. Now, we can see that we have got 2 columns in matrix 1 and 2 rows in matrix 2. Therefore, we can say these two can be multiplied. So these two matrices can be multiplied. Okay, can be multiplied. Okay, so if you have got questions, you can ask in the comment section. If you have understood, that's okay. Then you can go ahead and let us know that you have learned something. Okay, now let's go to the next part of this. Now let's go to the actual multiplying of matrices. Now we have identified on how to identify matrices that can be multiplied. However, in an exam, I've never come across a question that requires you to identify whether matrices can be multiplied or not. But this, I'm telling you, is for your own benefit, for your own knowledge, so that in case you encounter such a situation, you're able to use this knowledge and identify matrices that can be multiplied. Okay, now let's go to the actual multiplication of matrices. Okay, so you fully understand why the number of columns should match the number of rows in the second matrix. The number of columns in the first matrix should match the number of rows in the second matrix. Okay, so let's start with the first example. Let's say question 1, which is open bracket 2, 6. Then we have this matrix, which is 4, 9, like that. Okay, so how do we multiply these two matrices? So what we need to do is we need to, and for your own information, this one has got the order of matrix, which is 1 by 2. And this one has the order of matrix, which is 2 by 1. Now I've said these will determine whether two matrices can be multiplied. Then these, the outer ones, will determine the kind of matrix we'll have. So our matrix will be 1 by 1. Okay, our matrix will be 1 by 1. So how do we go about it? So we say we open bracket, then we say we open a smaller bracket, then multiply we multiply this 2 by this 4, which will give us sorry, I don't know what has happened. Sorry. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Sorry. Um, is open bracket, and then we say 2 by 4 close bracket, then we say plus, again we multiply this 6 by 9, so 6 by 9 we open bracket, and then we say 6 by 9, like that. Then we close the entire matrix like that. Then we say 2 by 4 will give us 8, plus 6 by 9 will give us 54, so we say 54 like that. Okay, then what do? We go ahead and add that. 8 times 8 plus 54 will give us 62. Okay, so 62, that is the matrix, the final matrix. That is the final matrix. Okay. If you have got questions, you can ask in the comment section. If you have no questions, then we can go ahead and answer questions. Okay, let's go to question 2. Okay. Okay, question 2, we have this one, which is 1, 4, 0, 3, close bracket, open bracket, 9, 1, 7, 0. Okay, like that. So the question is, let's solve this one as well. So to solve this one, what we're going to do is the same thing. Now here, this expression, these questions have given you the matrices that have same number of columns and rows. Same number of columns in it has got the number of columns that in it has got number of columns in matrix 1 which are equal to number of rows in matrix 2. Okay, so how do we go about this one? So to solve this one, what we do is I'm going to open a bigger matrix down here, then I'm going to multiply this number by this number, which is going to be, I'm going to open a smaller bracket, then I say 1 by 9, then close bracket, plus, then I'm going to multiply this number by this number, which will give us this expression, which is 4 by 7, like that. Okay, then next, what do we do next? Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply again this number here by this number, which is going to be, I'm going to open bracket and say 1 by 1. Okay, then this number by this number, which will give us, so we're going to say plus 4 times 0. Okay, like that. Okay, again, I'm going to come here and start using these numbers that are down. So I'm going to multiply this number by this number, so which is going to be 0 times 9, close bracket, plus, then I'm going to multiply this number by 7, which is going to be, open bracket, 3 by, sorry, which is going to be, open bracket, that is 3 by 7, so it's going to be 3 by 7. Okay, then what next? I'm going to open bracket here, and then I'm going to multiply this 0 by 1, so it's going to be 0 by 1, like that, then plus, open bracket, then 3 by 0, so you have 3 by 0. Okay, like that, then close that in that bigger matrix. Okay, now what next is to find the values. Okay, so I'm going to open the matrix down here, then I'll say I'm going to evaluate this. 1 times 9 will give me 9 plus, sorry, then we say 1 times 9 will give me 9, then plus 4 times 7 will give me 28. Okay, then they will be still in brackets. Then I evaluate this, so I'm going to have something like 1 by 1 will open bracket will give me 1, 4 by 0 will give me plus 0. Okay, then close bracket. Then I'm going to evaluate this, which is going to be 9 times 0 will give me 0. 9 times 0 will give me 0. Okay, 9 times 0 will give me 0 plus 3 times 7 will give me 21. Okay, then we come to this side. This side we say 0 times 1 will give me 0. 3 times 0 will give me, first of all, 0 times 1 will give me 1. Sorry. 0 times 1 will give me 0. Why am I saying 1? Sorry. Give me 0. Then 3 times 0 will give me plus 0. 3 times 0 will give me 0. Then with that, we'll close the entire matrix. Then we say equal to. Then we open matrix. Then we evaluate what is here. 28 plus 9, 9 plus 28 will give me 37. 9 plus 28 will give me 37. Then 1 plus 0 will give me 1. 0 plus 21 will give me 21. 0 plus 0 will give me 0. And this is the final matrix when we multiply matrix by matrix. Okay? Unless if you have got questions. If there are no questions, basically that's how you go about this question. Okay? So, tomorrow we are going to go through question papers. 9 plus 28 will give me 37. Then 1 plus 0 give me 1. 0 plus 21 give me 21. 0 plus 0 give me 0. And this is the final matrix when we multiply matrix by matrix. Okay? Unless if you have got questions. If there are no questions, basically that's how you go about this question. Okay? So, tomorrow we are going to go through question papers. All right, thank you so much for watching. Good night, and see you tomorrow again, as we are going to take time to go through question papers. I'll correct all the question papers. I prepared some, but looking at time, it has gone. So I want you followers, which I know that you are also students. You go to school in the morning. So I want you to have a list to rest so that tomorrow morning you may be fresh. So tomorrow we are going to go through mathematics question papers. So starting from 21 hours, I'll correct all the questions about matrices from paper 1 to paper 2. I'm going to correct them and uh, present those questions. So we answer all the questions that we can find at least from 2014 up to 2024, sorry, up to 2024. So please stick around tomorrow. Make sure you make a date with us. Otherwise, thank you so much for those people that have been watching us. And for Spitfire, I'm very grateful for the contribution that you have made. I'm very encouraged, and I'm going to work extra hard to make sure that I respond to your comments. And your support is very encouraging. It doesn't matter if we are interacting with one person. What is important is to make a positive impact, at least in one person. So thank you so much for all your comments. I've seen them, and sorry for that I didn't respond to your questions. The reason is I'm using the same phone to tap internet. So most of the time I keep it where network is not going to be interrupted. So sorry for that. I'm going to improve. Let me just find an alternative for that so that I can also be responding to your comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and see you in the next video tomorrow. To all our followers, thank you so much. So tomorrow it will just be questions. We have talked about all the concepts that are in matrices. So tomorrow it will be answering questions from different question papers. So make a date so that you can learn some few tricks